老渔翁，一钓竿，靠山崖傍水湾。If I have to use one word to describe today's poem, it should be beautiful. Beautiful surroundings, beautiful lyrics, and beautiful lifestyle. So beautiful that for a moment I think about ditching everything and just living in the poem. The poem says, an old fisherman, a fishing rod in hand, leans against the mountain cliff facing a river nook. Cooled and detached as boats come and go. The sandbars are studded with gulls against the distant glimmer of the water. The reedy port lies bleak and forlorn in the cold daylight. He sings a loud song to usher in the sunset. All of a sudden, he sees the waves ripple, gilded by the sun's reflection. And as he looks up, the moon has already climbed up the eastern mountain. This one we are talking about today is the first piece of Daoqing by Zheng Banqiao. Technically speaking, this is not a poem but a kind of folk song that was very popular in the southern parts of China. So Chinese people used to sing it instead of reading it. Daoqing is a form of folk song that tries to enlighten people about life with Taoist wisdom. They are mainly about how to preserve the heart's inner peace and make peace with life. By accepting and yielding to the current situation, some Chinese people believe that we can take a rather circuitous but tactical way to achieve a joyful and carefree life. In today's Daoqing, written by Zheng Banqiao, a Chinese poet in the Qin dynasty, the writer was tired of the everyday hustle and bustle, the endless tiff and fight in human life, and the troublesome world affairs. Therefore, he imagined himself to live like an old fisherman. An old fisherman, a fishing rod in hand, leaned against the mountain cliff facing a river nook. The writer imagined that the fisherman cast away all worldly troubles and spoiled himself in the carefree nature. Cooled and detached as boats come and go, just like the writer wanted us to stay cool and detached to the setbacks and changes in life. The sandbars are studded with gulls against the distant glimmer of the water. The reedy port lies bleak and forlorn in the cold daylight. He sings a loud song to usher in the sunset. At this moment, the writer totally forgot himself in the serenity of nature. Saved from worldly concerns, he was in high spirits that he was not able to feel before. But the happy time is always so short. Just as the writer was about to lose himself in a blissful world, he looked up. The moon had already climbed up the eastern mountain. Like always, how happy time had slipped away. Sometimes life presents us with so many issues to handle and so many serious subjects to think about. So often we have to fight for an easier life. When we wrestle with the worldly duties as a mother, father, husband, wife, student, employee, etc., how much do we want to sit alone by an inlet for a while and sing a loud song to usher in the sunset, just like the fisherman did? When we are pummeled by setbacks and overwhelmed with life's striking changes, how much do we want to stay cooled and detached as things come and go, just as the fisherman did when he observed the boat to and fro? And sometimes we can finally take a rest, but looking up, the moon has already climbed up the eastern mountain. How quickly the relaxing time has gone. To be a footless, trouble-free fisherman aloof to this really turbulent, fickle world, this is the ideal life for the Chinese poet Zheng Banqiao. I believe it is equally ideal for anyone in this modern world. So tonight, let's stay away from the madding crowd and be a carefree, aloof fisherman, as depicted in 道情 by Zheng Banqiao.